All righty, welcome back to Sportsline. And how cool is this, Nashville? The Titans in first place in the AFC South, and now the Nashville Predators first place in the Central Division of the Western Conference in the National Hockey League. Preds are red hot right now, playing some really good hockey. Let's bring in our good buddy from NHL.com who covers the Predators, Robbie Stanley. Robbie, thanks for jumping on tonight. Happy holidays, my friend.
JB, happy holidays to you as well. Good to be here.
Oh, it's always great to have you on, Robbie. Well, good week so far for the Preds. Nice win Monday night over the Boston Bruins. I was there, and then they follow that up the very next night. They go on the road and play in Dallas, a place where, you know, they've had some trouble, but they get a nice 5-2 win over the Stars last night. Two things that you have to like if you're a Preds fan. Number one, you get a big win on the road against a division rival, and number two, 5 different guys scoring a goal.
Yeah, they've been really impressive in their past couple games, and really ever since they got Kyle Turris from the trade, they seem to just be playing some really good hockey. And probably the most impressive thing about their 2 wins this week against Boston and Dallas is they did it both without Ryan Johansson in the lineup, and he's obviously one of the guys that drives their offense, one of their top players. So lots of goal scoring going on for the Preds right now. They're getting offense in different ways, and their power play is clicking really well so far. And like I said, I think the addition of Kyle Turris has been great for this team. He's chipping in offensively, and I think he's really having a major impact on guys like Kevin Fiala and Craig Smith, who are having big years so far. So no question, the Preds are rolling right now, and they're scoring a lot of goals while doing so.
Yeah, you mentioned Ryan Johansson. Do you have an update? How long is he going to be out, you think?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's that serious. I've seen him walking around in the locker room a couple times, so it doesn't look like it's anything overly serious. He had a collision with Kevin Fiala in the Anaheim game that knocked him out there in the second period and didn't come back. So I don't think it's going to be too long, but when you have a guy like that, you want to make sure you're as cautious as you can be, because we saw how last year in the playoffs, when he's out of the lineup, how potentially big of a loss it can be. They're much better equipped to handle it, I think, this year with the addition of Bonino and with the addition of Turris. But there's no question they need him back soon, because he's the driver of that top line offensively, and when they're going, they're as good as any line in hockey.
Talking with Robbie Stanley from NHL.com, who covers the Nashville Predators. Preds back-to-back wins on Monday and Tuesday, home over the Bruins, last night on the road against the Dallas Stars. And you mentioned Kyle Turris and GM David Poile making that trade early in the season. What about his game stands out to you as you watch him play?
I just think the way he's able to create space offensively is really fun to watch. I mean, you take a look at the way he enters the zone. He's very good at it. He enters it cleanly, and that allows the Predators to set up offensively. And the other thing that jumps out to me is he's got a lot of creativity in his game, whether that's on the rush coming down ice or whether that's when they already have the puck in the zone. He's able to make these little plays in tight spaces to get the puck to other players that not many guys are able to do. And like I said before, I think that's really freed up Kevin Fiala and Craig Smith offensively. I mean, Turris last night in Dallas was kind of trapped along the boards, made a great play to get the puck to Kevin Fiala for the Predators' first goal. And it's just little things like that. I think he's really good at attracting defenders, getting the puck away, and when they do leave him alone, he's got a great shot, as he also put on display last night in Dallas, scoring on a one-timer from the point on the power play. So really gifted player offensively, and I think he's had a major impact on the lineup. It slots everybody where they're supposed to be. I think it moves Nick Bonino into a third-line role where I think he's very comfortable. He's played there the past couple of seasons with Pittsburgh behind Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. And I think just that 1-2-3 punch they have now with Johansson, Turris, and Bonino stacks up with anybody in the league.
Yeah, how much of, the experience they had playing against the Pittsburgh Penguins in the Stanley Cup final? We've known for years that, the Penguins can roll 3 lines at you with 3 stud centers at any time. How much do you think they took a page out of what Pittsburgh's done the last few years and said, let's get, multiple lines going at multiple times, because as you get deeper in the playoffs, you're going to need those lines to click for you?
Yeah, I think that was a huge part of it. I really do. I think when you're in the playoffs, I think the battle down the middle of the ice is really, really important. Maybe the most important thing when you start talking about matchups and what you're going to have to do in order to win a playoff series, and especially the way things went for the Predators last year. I mean, you lose Ryan Johansson, and I think the guys stepping up behind them like Fisher and Sissons and Yarncroc did a really good job for what they were given, but I do think the Predators needed more depth in that area. They certainly have that this year. I mean, you've got Yarncroc that can play center. You've got Sissons. You've got even a guy like Freddie Gaudreau that stepped in there and played center as well. So you're 6 or 7 deep at the center position right now. So if the worst happens and somebody is to go down again in a playoff run, they're much better equipped to handle that this year. And if they stay healthy, like I said before, that 1-2-3 punch they have down the middle, I think stacks up with any team in the league. And then you throw on the biggest weapon the Predators have, and that's their top 4 defense. I think that's better than everybody else in the league. So you start taking a look at this Predators lineup right now, there's not a whole lot of weaknesses you can point to.
Talking with Robbie Stanley from NHL.com, talking a little Preds hockey. Robbie, it's interesting. You know, you mentioned Craig Smith as well, had a couple of goals the other night against Boston. This was a guy that maybe a lot of people didn't think would be here with the expansion draft and everything going on there. And I don't know, it seems to me like he's found some consistency in his game. He's always been one of my favorite players, both on and off the ice. I just think the world of the kid. What are you seeing from Smitty?
Yeah, he's been great. I think he's been great really from day one of this season. The work ethic has been there. He's playing with a lot of speed. And I think early on in the season when a couple of pucks went in for him, he started to play with confidence. And we've seen it in all kinds of sports, whether it's hockey, baseball, football, whatever the case may be. Once a player starts to get their confidence back, they become very dangerous. And I think Craig Smith has been dangerous almost each and every night that he's played so far this year. He's playing with a lot of speed, a lot of tenacity, getting after the puck, winning those 50-50 puck battles along the wall. When he's doing that, I think he's a very effective player for the team. I mean, he got a lot of chances offensively last year. He could just, for whatever reason, they just didn't go in for him. It's been much better this year. I think the confidence has a lot to do with that. But he's worked for those chances this year, and it's paying off for him in a big way. He had 3 consecutive years of scoring more than 20 goals. Had a down year last year with 12 goals. Already has 11 this year. I mean, he's on pace for high 20s, lower 30s in goals right now. So a big part of the Predators' offense, and they needed it, especially when you lose a guy like James Neal in the expansion draft.
Yeah, when you're talking Preds offense, it begins and ends with Philip Forsberg on a tear right now, especially at home. Talk about what he's been able to do in the early part of this season.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see Philip Forsberg enter his prime, and that's a scary thought for other teams around the league, because I think a lot of times people forget he's only 23 years old.
Wow.
We have not seen the best of Philip Forsberg yet. So he's been outstanding to start this year. He's becoming a game-changing player, and I think the Predators needed that offensively. He's a guy that, you know, when you need a big goal, when you need a big game-changing play, Philip Forsberg is the player on this team that can make those plays. He's done that so far this year. Been very good offensively, averaging a point a game. He's just been sensational, so much fun to watch. And I think, like I said before, we're just now starting to see the truest potential of what Philip Forsberg can be. And I think this time, maybe 2 or 3 years from now, you're going to be talking about an elite player in the National Hockey League.
It's scary to know that he's only 23 years old. Wow, that's incredible. Robbie, can't have you on without asking you about the goaltender, Pecorine. Every year we talk about, hey, is he getting up there in age? Can he still hold up? Everything I've seen looks pretty good to me.
Looks pretty good to me, to be honest with you. I mean, coming into the regular season, that was one of the question marks I had for this team. We saw how good he was in the playoffs and how he was able to raise his game. I kind of questioned whether or not he would be able to throughout an 82-game regular season. He was very up and down, inconsistent in the regular season last year. So far this year, he's been rock solid. I mean, he really has. And I think when he's on and the Predators are playing as well as they are defensively and they're getting the goal scoring they're getting right now, I mean, other teams are just running out of ways to beat this team. I mean, Pecorine has been very good, very consistent right from the word go this year. And if he continues to do that all season long, I mean, the Predators will have a chance to finish at the top of the division for the first time in franchise history.
Wow. All right. Rare Friday night home game coming up for the guys in gold and taking on the Vegas Knights. And for an expansion team, they're pretty good, no?
They're very good. I mean, they're so much better at this point than I think anybody thought they would be, including themselves. I mean, they've just been really, really good so far, and they've done it with a lot of injuries to their goaltenders as well. I mean, Marc-Andre Fleury's been out for a month. Malcolm Subban, PK's little brother, has stepped in and done a really good job. So we could see a Subban versus Subban.
Wow.
Friday nights, which would be cool.
So wait a minute, you're telling me there's a Subban living and working in Vegas right now? That's a little dangerous.
It is dangerous. It's Vegas and Nashville. I mean, for those guys to be, it's unbelievable.
I mean, a little birdie told me that PK likes to enjoy the Nashville nightlife. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not reporting that.
Well, who doesn't, JB?
Well, You said it, but I mean, yeah, I mean the Golden Knights. I mean, what a great story to come in as an expansion team and really play as well as they're playing right now.
Yeah, they've been great, and I think former Predator James Neal has been a big part of that. He's been leading the charge offensively for them, and I just think they've done a great job. I think their coach Gerard Gallant will probably end up winning Coach of the Year just because he's been able to allow them to be so competitive right from the jump. They're in the mix in the Pacific Division. They're right there with the LA Kings for the top spot in the Pacific Division, which, like I said before, I don't think anybody expected heading into this year. They're a great story. I still wonder how long they're going to be able to keep it up, but there's no question they're playing some good hockey right now, and no team in this league should take them lightly because they've proven already they're very tough to handle when they're on their game.
What kind of welcome do you think James Neal will get Friday night?
I think it should be a really good one. He was only here for 3 years, but he did a lot in his time. Scored some huge goals for this team, not only in the regular season, but of course last year in the playoffs as well. That game winner in overtime in Game 1 in Anaheim comes to mind. He was a big-time player for the Predators, and I think his reception will be very, very good.
Yeah, I've known James for quite a while, going back to his days in Pittsburgh, and he tries not to show emotion, but I'm sure it'll be an emotional night for him. All right, Robbie, get your plugs in real quick. How can people keep up with what you're doing?
Yeah, you can find my work on NHL.com. You can follow me on Twitter at @RStanleyNHL, and you can tune into this fine program. I'm on here every now and then, too.
When we love having you on, Robbie. Thanks so much for jumping on. Have a great night, my friend.
You too, JB. Thanks for having me.
All right, that's the great Robbie Stanley giving us a little Preds knowledge. The guys in gold, red hot right now. 2 wins already this week, and they host James Neal and the expansion Vegas Golden Knights Friday night at Bridgestone Arena. We're going to take a break and talk more about the Titans. We're going to hear from the QB, Marcus Mariota, as they get ready to travel to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Stay with us.